Hello, everybody. It is the American Doofus Show. We are live. Don't be a doofus. Normally, we do the open forum on Tuesdays, but Minneapolis, just outside one of its suburbs, Brooklyn Center, is erupting once again tonight. Before we get to the volume, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, share. Look forward to having everybody in the comments. Couple of things I want to just briefly touch on before we get to the volume, and I'll touch on them throughout the night. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine has been suspended. The one-dose COVID vaccine has been suspended because of blood clots in, I think it was 4 individuals. So we will be watching that because that impacts everything. And this story, Kenosha officer Rustin Shisky was not charged in the 2020 shooting last August of Jacob Blake that left Blake paralyzed from the waist down. We had that sickening incident on the show the day it happened. Kenosha officer Rustin Shinsky returned to duty March 31st. He will not be disciplined after being found to have acted within department policy. So I'll let you make of that what you will, and we'll see what's going on.
There's a fence, there's barricades, and many cops protecting her house. Very nice plush house up in Champlain, I believe.
Hey, Galaxy Rapper. Yeah, I saw. I was watching New York at about midnight.
They're doing nothing. They're standing there with umbrellas. It's a very big threat to the police right now at this point. They have pulled up National Guard trucks onto the apartment building steps, basically, almost up to the steps of the apartment building here. That apartment building and this one over at 6700 have just been getting the brunt of police munitions, tear gas, and just overall occupation of their house from the police forces and authority forces, or law enforcement. So the National Guard is very active today. You can hear the leaf blower in the background. Here's what the police see, a crowd of people and then a gaggle of press. The crowd has dwindled since all of the munitions have been shot. Really, since the unlawful assembly order was given, a lot of the people had sort of started leaving. Again, Dante Wright, 20 years old. He was pulled over on expired tabs. He also had an air freshener hanging from his rearview mirror. Yeah, so Dante Wright was 20 years old. He was on 63rd Ave. He was pulled over for expired tabs. The police ended up trying to take him in on a warrant. The warrant was actually never sent to his house. So that's another side of the story that maybe is not focused on as much, that the warrant was never even sent to his house. The clerk either messed up either the clerk or somewhere in the courtroom realm. You see the metal part, that's the 40 millimeter marker round, and that's what's been hitting people. there is a foam part of it, as you can see here. The person tried to grab some water for them, and he was met with getting hit with a marker gun, as you just saw what a marker gun looks like. They also have the spindles. I'm not really sure what the circular grenade joints are called, CS grenades. I'm not really positive if that was one. But we've seen Safariland, defense technology, combined systems, and I'm sure there's a few other ones that I'm missing. Those are the ones we've seen so far. We've seen HC gas, CS gas, triple chasers, 40 millimeter marker rounds, and a few other munitions that the police are using.
What's up, T-Rex?
A lot of tear gas.
Kevin,
so, again,
James,
tear gas is
thank you everybody that's watching. We are in
warfare. It's a chemical weapon.
We got footage from Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. I actually thought this thing would die out because of weather, but things erupted just a few minutes ago. I couldn't get it on when it was happening, but
quick side story.
Again, lots of people have left the area.
Okay, during the uprising last year, there was a person who came from Illinois to take part in the uprising. Didn't like George Floyd getting killed. He filmed some of his actions. He ended up getting got on a federal charge of arson. I think he just pled guilty the other day. I'm not sure if it was an arson charge or one of the other federal charges it was. But we did a little report on that, and the reason I bring it up is because inside the courtroom during one of the trial hearings that I attended, as press, there's finally the shields coming. I'm not going to be able to show you all because they're behind. So anyways, they brought an FBI agent inside the courtroom, and he testified that he was the head agent of the FBI here in Minneapolis, one of the clerk. He was... So he said the head of the FBI's chemical weapons group or management or whatever, he said specifically that there was chemical weapons, or there was like a bomb that was used. A WMD is what it was called. Was there any WMDs during the George Floyd uprising? And the FBI agent said, well, sort of, and it was from the police. And so it's very interesting interchange that I witnessed that we reported on as well. You can check it out on our website. But the reason I bring it up is because he said specifically, the FBI agent in charge of WMDs here in Minneapolis said specifically, or Minnesota, that WMD is tear gas. Tear gas is not allowed, it's banned in warfare, but yet the police here can use it. Anyways, it has a ton of health effects that are super negative to your system. They've been using inerts. Yesterday they were shooting inerts. Those are little tiny balls, talcum powder balls, and they smelled like deodorant or baby powder. And they have pepper in them, and they are known to cause cancer. And so the munitions that the police are using on these, what I've seen is 90% peaceful protesters, and it doesn't even matter if it's like peaceful or not, but essentially these are folks that are airing their grievances. And right at this point, they're just sitting there saying, don't shoot, and they have umbrellas to protect themselves. And they're getting shot with cancer-causing chemical warfare munitions.
I do not know the legitimacy of what the
simple delicacies of American life
commentator is saying here. So, as always, the American doofus is not necessarily responsible for anything that is aired on the program here from a third-party source. I don't know if any of that is true. If it is true,
this is a response.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Killing 20-year-old Dante Wright during a traffic stop. Kim Potter moved aside the other officer, said she was grabbing her taser, clearly reached to her strong side, and shot and killed Dante Wright. He was 20 years old. He was a father. She has not been charged. She resigned today. The police chief resigned. The city manager was fired. The mayor has taken over the police department. So a lot of changes have already happened, but the officer is not charged. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Hey.
Again, if you just happen to be joining, it's Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. Again, I'm going to sit back down and see what happens.
Police making more moves. Officers are all the way into the yard. Once again. So they're bringing the cars, doing sort of the same exact formation as we saw yesterday. So they'll bring the car up, they'll flank the car with, so they're bringing two cars up. They'll separate the cars once they get past this apartment complex. When they, whoa, they just shot the mess out of those folks. Again, this is right in front of the apartment complex.
There's maybe 40 people out there that are just refusing to leave, and there were hundreds and hundreds of people out there earlier. Just so those that are watching are aware. Police have announced that anyone still around is going to get arrested, like always.
So as I was saying about the cars, they'll bring both of the cars up till they get to about the strip mall area. Then they'll send one of the SWAT trucks into the strip mall area, likely like they did yesterday. We saw numerous SWAT trucks out here. I can't even remember all the specific ones. I think we saw St. Louis Park, Anoka had a couple. I think we saw Brooklyn Park. We saw some Eden Prairie police officers. But there's just a huge multi-jurisdictional West Command unit, West Command force.
Talked a little bit about this last.
Will be arrested. If you continue to obstruct, resist, and/or interfere with peace officers, you will be violating Minnesota State Statute 609.50, obstructing the legal process, which will be an additional crime.
Hey, you want to talk about it? That's cool. That's cool. You said you got to get the crowd.
Hey man, y'all got smoke all up in the
kids can't even breathe. Hey, y'all can walk forward without shooting that shit. Stop shooting that shit kids in here. Y'all can walk forward without shooting that shit at my kids. With the windows open because you got kids out over here. Stop throwing shit. Hey man, hey, y'all can do some peaceful shit. Stop that. Back up. Stop throwing shit. Watch out, watch out, watch out. It's kids. It's kids, man. It's kids. It's kids. Hey, hey. What about the kids out there fucking kids? What about the kids? It's kids. These kids ain't got nothing to do with this. Y'all hold on right on your stuff. It's kids. Y'all don't care about the kids. It's kids over here. Hey, y'all hold this up. It's kids. It's kids over here. It's kids over here.
It's kids out there behind the umbrellas. They're just a little older.
Find a different way to crowd control. This is all right. Stop shooting, stop back, and walk them back. Walk them back? Walk them back. You ain't got to shoot the stuff. Walk them back. It's too much. Y'all have to, this is what, my kids are scared of y'all. They're scared.
Hearing
they don't
truth.
understand what the fuck is going on. Figure it out. It's a little argument now. Man is mad now. He's blaming the protesters at this point. He did start, blaming the police. They definitely stopped the police shooting over here, that's for sure.
We will be violating Minnesota State Statute 609.50, obstructing legal process, which will be an additional crime.
The line's still here with the umbrellas. I don't want to be in a shot, man. Yeah, again, tons of children in this apartment complex that we're standing right behind. And the police have been using tons of munitions out here. There's still a few hundred people out here.
obstructing legal process, which will be an additional crime.
Media, leave the area. Again, if you're just joining us, we're watching a stream from. I'll let this man talk.
This is under Minnesota State Patrol. We are in violation of Minnesota State Statute 609705, unlawful assembly. If you do not cease your unlawful behavior and disperse peacefully, you'll be arrested. If you continue to obstruct, resist, and/or interfere with peace officers, you will be violating Minnesota State Statute 609.50, obstructing the legal process, which will be an additional crime.
We on this fucking shit. We're not going nowhere.
You must leave the area. Media and press, leave the area.
We need to stay here and show everything that's going on. We're not fucking leaving.
That's why.
Stay here and show everything that's going on to the fucking world.
Yeah. Somebody told me the other day, if you media didn't cover this stuff, they wouldn't do it. Well, the media doesn't cover this stuff, okay? Alternative media, alternative news sites, we cover this stuff because it needs to be seen, whether you agree with what they're doing, whether you don't, it needs to be seen what's happening because people don't have a full concept of what's really going on, how dangerous the situation is in our country. Come back in here to comments for a second. What's going on, Philly Strong? Black Rain Arms. Here we go.
Ah, motherfucker shot me.
Well, he told you
Get
to.
out of the way.
He told you to get out, man. I don't think you should have to, but if they tell you to, prepare that they are going to take you.
He knew that. Fucking shooter. Sorry about my language, everybody.
Yeah, you kind of lose it when you get shot with a pepper ball when you're broadcasting. That happens. But they said media, you have to leave. Now that's wrong. They shouldn't. They can't. But when they got the guns,
Nothing but press up here. He knew he was shooting at. They're making a bunch of arrests back there.
and it's the same tactics that are used, the same tactics that are used in all across the country. They pull someone behind the lines and arrest them, and then keep moving the line forward. And unless you move, you get pulled in and arrested. It is a powder keg, Mad Hatter. Yeah, they were.
Okay, cool. I'm right here, though.
Protests. Well, protests don't work as far as making change. Protests work in drawing attention. But too many ignorant people just see that.
That's one of their munitions.
Yeah, so somebody at the apartment complex's car just got smoke bombed. There you go again. Second warning for media and press to leave. Of course, with First Amendment and freedom of the press to report, if I was 40 years younger, I'd be challenging it. This isn't my revolution.
They moved the cars up.
This is the revolution of the young. This is.
They really got a lot of protesters right there. They snatched at least.
My generation should have done better. My generation should have done better.
Yeah, apologies for the language.
Now his lens is getting real steamy.
Again,
Snow coming down.
Dante, Wright.
Kevin, you said about Kevin. They have the guns. This is why the Second Amendment is so important to the people. Absolutely right. Could not agree more.
Yesterday, when the Dollar
and I'm
when the police were making this move right about here, the Dollar Tree got lit up on fire. It did not burn up, obviously. Really good sprinkler systems. The police force is very deep behind this first line. You hear the crowd saying, "We'll be back."
Yeah.
Seems like a lot of them are sort of leaving.
Well, and the arrests are the arrests are a deterrent. Those that don't get arrested tend to flee.
Sort of quiet now after they snatched.
Yeah, just incredibly quiet.
Lagging behind as the police made their run for it. Again, there's probably at least a dozen arrests happening right now. They might just be detainments, or they might be trying to get them with riot charges for participating in an unlawful assembly with the umbrella. They try to give. They are giving riot charges for other folks involved in a New Year's Eve demo.
If you do not cease your unlawful behavior and disperse peaceably, you'll be arrested. If you continue to obstruct, resist,
There's a law, a bill attempting to be made law in Kentucky that if you say a curse word at an officer, it's grounds for arrest. So
all that's left is press. There's at least
the Second Amendment is the only thing that prevents dictatorship.
3 dozen press. Couple here on the front line.
Everybody that's ever watched this show knows I'm all about peace, that I want peace, that I would love to see a healing in our nation, but you would have to be a major doctoral doofus level to think that this is ever going to end well. It's going to be a long, hot summer. Again, the officer in Kenosha, Wisconsin, that shot Jacob Blake Jr. 7 times in the back, leaving him paralyzed. He was found not guilty of any crimes, and he is back at work. And there will be no discipline because of he was found to have acted within the policy of the department.
Something like that. And Dante was told to get out of the car. He got out of the car. One of the officers was trying to arrest him. Dante tried to get back in the car, or he did get back in the car while it was happening. Kim Potter, 26-year vet, head of the police union in Brooklyn Center, and a training officer, supposedly accidentally discharged her weapon into Dante's chest or stomach, killing him. She said it was an accidental discharge based on the fact that she thought, based on the premise of her thinking that what she was pulling was a taser. I've read that people have worked with this person in the past, Kim Potter, and they sort of know her as an avid racist.
Ooh.
So they do not believe that
again, that is.
Well, the one person that I've read who knows her,
that is not the opinion. We do not know that to be fact. That is the opinion of the speaker on Unicorn Riot.
And so Kim Potter, she was named last night.
I wouldn't be surprised if she was, but we don't know that to be fact, okay?
Sunday at 2 p.m. Police killed Dante. They left his body out for about 6 hours. Many people gathered. 2 police cars were sort of smashed up a little bit. They shot
09-705 unlawful assembly. If you do not cease your unlawful behavior and disperse peaceably, you will be arrested. If you continue to obstruct, resist, and/or interfere with peace officers, you will be violating Minnesota State Statute 609.50, obstructing the legal process, which will be an additional crime.
So,
media, leave the area. Media and press, leave the area now.
Again, calling for the media and press to leave. If I was a bank robber, if I was a criminal mastermind.
So they left Dante's body out on the street. Well, he was shot while he was in his car. His car rolled away up to the next block by 63rd and Catherine. From 63rd and Catherine, he got out of the car. They pulled him out of the car and tried to resuscitate him possibly, and I think he passed away right on the corner of 63rd and Catherine. Right now, 63rd and Catherine is a black fist that was created by the artist who created the first black fist at GFS, George Floyd Square. So Sunday, when people went a little smashy on the first 2 cars, while the police were still doing their investigation, the BCA is investigating it, Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, and it's on Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman at this point to charge the officer. People are saying that the officer is going to be charged Wednesday. That's yet to be known. You can see the name of Isaac Aiden written on the wall over here. Isaac Aiden was killed by South Suburban Police. So back to the Dante Wright. Dante was left out in the street, as I said, for about 6 hours or 5 hours or something like that. After picking up his body and clearing the crime scene, the police left. People then moved to the police station, where the police shot a lot of munitions at people. The second night was the same thing. During the daytime, a lot of people continued to gather. There was a lot of different gatherings, different sort of protests and vigils at both the site where Dante was murdered, as well as at the police station. Brooklyn Center canceled school for all the kids. So unfortunately, a bunch of the youth that were super excited to get back in school, have some social life again, were actually told to stay back home. And this is, again, because the police killed somebody, a 20-year-old.
But,
So
okay.
the whole community has now faced a lot of consequence from Kim Potter's actions. We'll see if Kim Potter faces consequence from her actions. But right now, from what I know, is she's getting heavily protected at her home in a plush suburb.
What are there 5 or 6 people left out there? What I mean,
Your unlawful behavior and disperse peaceably, you'll be arrested. If you continue to obstruct, resist, and/or interfere with peace officers, you will be violating Minnesota State Statute 609.50, obstructing legal process, which will be an additional crime.
how many people are out there, and how many police officers are out there? How much money is being spent right now in a line of people just standing there when other crimes are probably going on?
I think it's Washington County is now the ones who are sort of in charge of charging Kim Potter. So Kim Potter, again, is a training officer, the head of the Brooklyn Center Police Union.
She resigned today.
The Brooklyn Center Police Union. And she's a training officer. And she supposedly made the life-taking mistake of pulling a gun instead of a taser. People are out here because of that. Not because they want to be, not because it's cold and they're like, yeah, I want to spend some time outside in the cold. No, because 20-year-old Dante Wright was killed by police. This is a gentleman who was also sitting there before the police rushed first. On the last rush. So again, those are I'm not really sure what they're called, but they shoot them in the sky. They shot them in the sky at this apartment building for the last 2 nights numerous times. Like over and over and over and over and over again.
I don't know. I don't see a threat to the police department. Maybe it's there, but I don't know. Civil war is upon us. It's not.
People are screaming from another.
I understand that. I understand that sentiment, and
this is the police response.
but who's on whose side? What is this going to be? Is this going to be
more violence and more aggression?
Police against young blacks and young whites? Is this going to be black against white? Is this going to be rich against poor? Is this going to be, if there is a civil war, how is it defined? It's just there's so much hate, there's so much ignorance, there's so much.
So there's just people like looking through the fence every now and then. They might do some things, and the police are reacting to that. So again, Kim Potter.
This is the Minnesota State Patrol. You are in violation of Minnesota State Statute 609.705, unlawful assembly. If you do not cease your unlawful behavior and disperse peaceably, you'll be arrested. If you continue to obstruct, resist, and or interfere with peace officers, you will be violating Minnesota State Statute 609.50, obstructing the legal process, which will be an additional crime. Media, you need to leave the area. Media threats, leave the area and disperse.
The things that they shoot are like flashbangs that explode in the sky. In a way, they're just like diversion devices.
Old America versus New America.
Yesterday, the day before, those are specific diversion devices and like a little aluminum type of cylinder. I'm scared that this gentleman is going to get nabbed up very soon. It's most likely going to happen, but we'll see. Hopefully not. Police made a lot of arrests the last couple of nights. There was 40 arrests yesterday.
Deborah, I'm not sure what your intent is with that comment, but my intent to you is if natural disasters do come, I would not be surprised. And despite what you may wish upon me, I hope you're spared. That's Kevin, Thaddeus, you could be right. Kevin, that's probably right. The purpose of it is just to eliminate. And who gets eliminated, it probably is of little consequence.
The sheriff, SWAT squads, probably in Nova County, I'm not sure.
This guy's going to get pulled in and arrested in just a few moments.
We don't matter when we ask them to breathe. I can't fucking breathe. I keep fucking on my neck. I can't breathe. Why not don't hear that shit? But when we said we're not voting Democrat, we're not voting Republican, we're not voting none of y'all. Guess what? Y'all listen, all y'all fucking niggas the dollars. Black people, you fight for black votes, black and Latino votes. Oh, yeah, that's the same way there. Terrorize you. Yeah, man, I'm talking to you. I'm having a conversation with you. You know why? Because there's a mother out there who wants to fucking son. And I hope this resignation comes. I hope it. Well, you gotta talk to the motherfucking police. Somebody. Some changes have to be made. He's nowhere a police officer to kill somebody. They don't make no consequences at all. Come on, man. Even if your gun was white, let's stop me out here. Because y'all not right for that shit, man. Y'all don't get for that. Come on, man. Y'all bring all the big ass guns and shit like we violent, bro. Like we violent. Am I violent? I got my phone in my pocket. And a water bottle. I'm violent. Come on, put your fucking knee on my neck. For all fucking long. We done with that shit, man. Y'all remember the single group center was funded by fucking KKK? Remember? Y'all remember that shit? The single group center was funded.
This is a Minnesota State Patrol. You're in violation of Minnesota State Statute 609.705, unlawful assembly. If you do not cease your unlawful behavior and disperse peaceably, you'll be arrested. If you continue to obstruct, resist, and or interfere with peace officers, you will be violating Minnesota State Statute 609.50, obstructing legal process, which will be an additional crime.
What he was saying is,
Media and press, you are directed to leave the area. Media and press, leave the area now.
Brooklyn Center was founded by a KK member, Earl Brown. There
I told you.
Shooting more rounds. Sorry, I can't zoom in much. We have some camera issues. Flip the screen upside down, so it's very hard to control what exactly you all see, so I'm trying to keep this a widescreen. Apologies for that. Because if you can imagine, everything's upside down for me on the screen. So we'll get that fixed for tomorrow. Either way, this is Nico from Unicorn Riot. We're here live on Humboldt Ave, 60, I think Humboldt Avenue, yes. Very close to the police station. The police have moved up about half a block, pushed a lot of the protesters back. It's about the same exact formation as they did yesterday, where they're going to push people back to the gas stations, fortify and secure the area. That's what they called it. They make arrests along the way. They've been clear to say that media are not exempt from this unlawful assembly. Yesterday they detained 2 media members, at least. I was one of them for a very brief moment. Louis Tran was another. Again, it's not about media, this is about...
They were at a gas station.
Seeking justice for Dante.
And the police took a black guy that had press on his vest. They took him back behind the lines and he was never seen again. An Asian reporter in my age range was taken behind the lines. He was talked to and then released. And Nico here from Unicorn Riot, he was taken yesterday evening, last night. We had it here on the program, and then he was let go after his credentials were checked. So again,
a bunch of people came out saying that they had kids there, and that's how the authorities care about that. They're like, oh, you don't want us here? Well, we're going to drive on your lawn.
Again, those of you that are normal viewers, you know Tuesday night's normally our open forum night where we talk about a little bit about everything, but this isn't a normal Tuesday night. Dante Wright, 20-year-old, father of a 2-year-old, was killed Sunday. Traffic stop, expired tags, air freshener hanging from the window mirror. And he was wanted on a failure to appear.
The officer Kim Potter.
This is the Minnesota State Patrol. You're in violation of Minnesota State Statute 609-705, unlawful assembly. If you do not cease your unlawful behavior and disperse peaceably, you'll be arrested. If you continue to obstruct, resist, and/or interfere with peace officers, you will be violating Minnesota State Statute 609.50, obstructing legal process.
Okay, there are some people still there.
When you stop, Dante Wright.
Dude, you got about 10 more feet. You got about 10 more feet, and your righteous indignation is going to get you pulled into the line, and you're going to be the next. Yeah, back up, dude. Don't be a doofus. This I believe is why Grandmaster Jay started the NFAC, so that when things like this happened, there would be a black force to protect those that were protesting, protect their communities.
A few dozen folks that are off in the distance. The police have just cleared up to this area where there's this second apartment building off of the one building that's after their police station.
And I also believe that the powers that be saw what was happening and put a cap on it by making sure Grandmaster Jay was contained for a while it was at its optimal growth. Now, I when I was back checking my phone, I saw notification that Moorish World TV's got something on right now attacking Grandmaster Jay and the new Black Panther Party. And I'm sorry, the dude can do what he wants on his platform, but when all of this is going on to the Black community, is that really the time for members of the Black community to be attacking each other? I'm just asking as an outside observer. It just, I don't know. I just want peace. And blessed are the peacekeepers, because ye shall be called children of God. And I just want to be a peacekeeper. And there's absolutely nothing I see in any of these images that leads me to believe peace is in our near future or in our distant future as a country.
If you do not cease your unlawful behavior and disperse peaceably, you'll be arrested. If you continue to obstruct, resist, and/or interfere with peace officers, you will be violating Minnesota State Statute 609.50, obstructing legal process, which will be an additional crime.
And I probably will get in trouble for saying what I'm going to say.
You need to leave the area. Media, leave the area now.
Yes, media can stay where they want according to the First Amendment. However, your bullets say otherwise. Just because you have a camera, or just because you have a phone, or just because you have a tripod doesn't make you media. And
this is the third night of protesting against police killing of Dante, Wright. We've now called up two possibly state trooper vehicles. The one on the left is state trooper. I'm not sure what the other one is. We're sort of in the similar territories we were yesterday.
Jeff Phoenix, I said the NFAC was necessary. That's why I started documenting it, because I thought it was necessary. I thought it was important. I thought it was going to be a.
I'm guessing this Lorenz bus service is with.
That's odd.
Alright, so I'm pretty positive, obviously, that I drove driving that close. So what people should be aware of is possible another pedal in a way. We heard them say,
they don't bring a bus in unless they're going to fill it with people.
One person go down?
They are going to grab that guy.
They might
Absolutely.
just be putting all the officers back into the car.
Oh, they could be too. Yeah, they could be busing a bunch of officers back. That would be a nice thing.
Well, I shouldn't say no because it's probably their boss. So we might not see the police go all the way to Pumpkin Munch. We'll see. Pumpkin Munch and Clark gas station are right behind us. It's unclear. With the police force that they have behind them, I would be surprised if they wouldn't actually. But at the same time, they've been stopped here for quite a long time. You see a lot of movement around the sides and the back area.
I gotta get up here off the floor for a few minutes.
There's
This is the Minnesota State Patrol. You're in violation of Minnesota State Statute 609-705, unlawful assembly. If you do not cease your unlawful behavior and disperse peaceably, you'll be arrested. If you continue to obstruct, resist, and/or interfere with peace officers, you will be violating Minnesota State Statute 609.50, obstructing the legal process, which will be an additional crime. Media and press, leave the area and disperse to the north. Media and press, disperse to the north. Do it now.
Okay, what? American Dispersal officer be sued. Unfortunately, make sure you get an attorney, Mr. Welsh. The truth comes out this summer. NFAC will continue to hide as Grandmaster J helps the UK with their immigration. Okay. All right, whatever. I'm not. I don't know Grandmaster J. I've never met him. I've contacted several times trying to interview him, and never had a response, not even a no. So, my connection with Grandmaster J is I saw a stream of what was happening on July 4th in Stone Mountain, Georgia, and I started covering the NFAC that day.
Gentlemen just said there's the National Guard back there, and back there.
You will be violating Minnesota State Statute
Again,
609.50.
if you go to our Twitter feed,
process, which will be an additional crime.
So he's just talking over this.
Press and media, disperse to the north. Press and media, disperse to the north.
I keep reminding myself to be quiet. Let him say it. So, the amount of police is just immaculate. National Guard, sheriffs, police forces.
Yeah, it is massive. A massive amount of police.
If you go to our Twitter feed, do our _ninja, you will catch more details, or like more media, I should say. And some of that media, I think we have a clip up that shows some of the staging area that the police had. First of all, I think we have a clip up that shows about 20 National Guard vehicles drive by near the FBI headquarters a little earlier this evening where a protest was going. And then also the staging ground at Earl Brown Center. Again, Earl Brown, as the person you saw that was arrested, was speaking to the police, he specifically was saying that Brooklyn Center was founded by a KKK member, and I don't have a lot of that history and knowledge of Brooklyn Center, but that's what I keep hearing. So check it out, do your research. Earl Brown, KKK. From my understanding, there's a lot of these housing units and some other places here also just named after different other KKK members. And in general, a lot of places, obviously, in Minnesota and throughout the United States are named after genocide years or very, very avid racists. As many of these cities and streets and schools. Hence the movement to change the names. You know, obviously with the change, the mascot sort of led by the indigenous folks here in this country, getting mascot names to be changed. Also, people have been focused on changing, like Lake Calhoun or Ramsey School. Those have been two pretty big name changes here in the local area. And again, it's just getting out the racist past, like tearing down the statues in a way. So the front line has now gotten more people. Like more people have come up to this line.
I'm just gonna truth is like the moon, you know.
This is the Minnesota State Patrol. You are in violation of Minnesota State Statute 609-705 unlawful assembly.
Thank you.
If you unlawful behavior and disperse peaceably, you'll be arrested. If you continue to obstruct, resist, and/or interfere with peace officers, you will be violating Minnesota State Statute 609.50, obstructing legal process, which will be an additional crime. Media and press, leave the area and disperse to the north. Media and press, leave the area and disperse to the north.
No, truth. I didn't say go home. I didn't say speak English.
I need to check something real quick.
I just said, you know, that if you want me to have that information that you have, all we got to do is have a Zoom and you can lay it all out. I would not be surprised if conditions in city Chicago, if a lot of major cities, if conditions didn't start, if the cities didn't start prepare for a the possibility of a negative outcome as far as justice in the trial of the murder of George Floyd. Command, I think you're probably too late, man. I think the side blocks are already, those side blocks have already been tapped off. Large community A1 auditors who would disagree with you on what defines press and media. No, I'm saying that what the especially governments like well, let's say Louisville, let's say here in Minneapolis, if they don't start having ordinances that define the press as part of a corporation or part of a mainstream network, when that is not a necessary definition of the press. So if they disagree with that, then okay. Yeah, I imagine cops nationwide are preparing for the trial outcome. If because it could become it. I hope it doesn't become any more than talk, but I'm sure all of us have heard talk that, you know, open season, you know, and I'm not sure what 1312.
Will be arrested. If you continue to obstruct, resist, and/or interfere with peace officers, you will be violating Minnesota the area and disperse to the north. Media incorrect. Leave the area. Disperse to the north.
Yeah, that's since they're directing them one specific direction to go north. I think all the side things are blocked off. Yeah, makes you wonder what they're expecting or could possibly know already. John, you're not able to get a picture. Is anybody else having any trouble with picture or audio? El Negro, Confidante. I don't think to my knowledge, they haven't burned anything or looted anything tonight. Now they certainly did the last two nights. Last night they set the Dollar Tree on fire over in the strip mall that they just showed moments ago. Okay, this guy's bound and determined to get arrested. And getting arrested isn't gonna, hey Knuckles, what's going on, man? Getting you arrested isn't gonna do anything other than be a major inconvenience. You're not gonna be a hero. You're not gonna get your 15 minutes of fame. Probably gonna get an ass whipping. I know the last time I got arrested, I got an ass whipping. That was a long time ago. Now, see, if it was like your local TV station and they said move to the north, they would immediately move. And that's where I'm saying don't be surprised if cities don't start having ordinances requiring you to register to see if you get a media badge. Jeff Phoenix, I want to go down through the comments now that the police aren't yelling. Also called black groups, also called groups that represent the black community should come together and have a rally. I totally agree with that. I tried to put a conference together to stop any kind of conflict. It ended up opening up some dialogues, I will say, that otherwise wouldn't have happened. But yeah, that a mass showing of force at some point, at somewhere, and that's what I personally think makes the NFAC so successful. But that's just my personal opinion. Let me see. Human beings are being told by law enforcement to go home. The law enforcement have the power of refusing breaking law, protesting, being to look sad. There's a better way. James, I wish I knew there was a better way than this. I would hope somebody would think of a better way that was legal and effective.
The snow and the remnants.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you, Nat Turner. I can tell the difference between my gun when it's got a clip in it and my gun when it doesn't have a clip in it. And I can tell the difference between my taser and, oh, sorry, I'm yelling really loud there. We lost signal. There we go.
You will be violating Minnesota State Statute 609.50, obstructing the legal process, which will be an additional crime. Leave the area to the north. Leave the area and disperse to the north.
Michelle, that's an interesting concept. It's about the white psyche that is triggered upon onset. I'm assuming you mean psyche upon onset of black male, mostly to conquer, kill, or be killed. Never been dealt with in the USA. Interesting. Knuckles. Yeah, she has not been charged at this time. She has resigned, but she has not been charged at this time. I said it was chatter. Salty Granny. Hey, Salty Granny. First of all, okay. Well, there's a difference between riot, protest, and looting, in my opinion. What we're seeing right now is a protest. This guy has a Dante shirt on. He's making a statement. We will see riots if there's not a guilty verdict in the George Floyd trial. If Chauvin gets off in the murder trial, we will see riots. But yeah, riots are different than protests, and they get lumped together in the media, and it shouldn't be that way. El Negro Confidante. I'm assuming you're being sarcastic.
If you do not cease your unlawful behavior and disperse peaceably, you'll be arrested. If you continue to obstruct, resist, and/or interfere with peace officers, you will be violating Minnesota State Statute 609.50, obstructing the legal process, which will be an additional crime.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just the it is the courts as well, Kemet. It is. Komet. I'm not exactly sure how that's pronounced. My apologies. Yeah, Salty Granny, it is a little. Oh, I see what you're saying, El Negro Confidante. Um, technically, he wasn't a felon. I don't believe. I know that he had expired tags, and I know there was a failure to appear, but I honestly don't know if it was a felony or not. Okay, I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm saying I don't know that part. I know there was a warrant for failure to appear. It's getting louder here on TV, so I'm going to step back for a second, sit on the couch, and get off the. We never know when it's going to be the end time, so those of us that have faith, we need to always be prepared, and that means pure of heart.
Again, if you're just joining, this is Nico from Unicorn Ride. Thank you, rest of the squad that's doing the back end. People have been on here for the third night in a row, 3 days in a row since Dante Wright was killed. He's 20-year-old, killed by police. Tim Potter, Brooklyn Center Police Department, 26-year veteran, as well as training officer and head of the police union. She played a part in sort of covering up Kobe Heisler's murder in 2019. He was murdered by Brooklyn Center Police in his grandma's house after they called for help for him.
Okay, I've not heard that.
She didn't try to kill him. She thought she was grabbing her taser. She has not been charged. She has resigned. The police chief has resigned. The city manager was fired. And the mayor has taken over the police forces. Yet, Tim Potter, is protected in her house in Champlin, Minnesota. A very, very plush neighborhood and house. She has barricades around it and a fence or fencing around her house and police as security guards. So she's very, very comfortable sitting in her house and possibly set up to get her pension with dining. We'll see if charges will happen. Charges are on Washington County to deal with the charges. We're about to get the media,
Media and press. Leave the area and disperse to the north. Media and press. Leave the area and disperse to the north.
Sure. Yeah. Hey, let's go.
The crowd is grown. Since they grown, the crowd has gotten more than it had a little bit ago.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. No justice, no peace.
Now, see, that girl's out there for a purpose. The other night, I think the girl was out there trying to get her 10 minutes of fame or whatever. A lot of strong, powerful black women in these movements. And I wanted to say something about the young man that was killed. If he was, even if he was a felon, it doesn't mean he gets executed in his car. We have a process for that. So, we can't jump ahead of steps. And as far as using the taser, I've never been in a life-death situation like that, but I don't know if that necessarily was a life-death situation. And I think I don't know how she grabbed the wrong, I don't know. I don't know. But I'm not a judge or jury either. Yeah, it was on a much larger scale in the 60s. I can testify to that. Yeah, Salty Granny, I empathize with that. I don't have answers at the moment anyway as to what can be done. I know that what we're seeing here is a show of force by law enforcement because there is no direct threat. They said that in Louisville, and they said, yeah, sure you will. And they still are. There may only be 5 or 10 of them, but they're still out there. So the crowd is growing.
If you go to Unicorn Ride that Ninja and you go to our front page,
Music area, dispersed to the north.
you scroll down on the front page, you'll see a family is against police violence. Yeah, I saw them. Yeah, thank you. Yep. The family is searching for police accountability. There's an article.
James Sweeney, I hope I can claim a little bit of that blessing from Jesus. Sean Pitts, oh man, thank you. I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be, doing what I'm supposed to be doing for the first time in a long time. And it's basically just trying to get information out there, giving people things to think about, and trying to educate people in the white community that that never have any kind of interaction with anybody that doesn't look, think, and sound exactly like themselves. And you can never progress, you can never grow, you can never evolve if you're only looking one way, seeing one thing, and hearing one thing. So I'm hoping that this platform eventually opens up to a lot more white people that become woke, if you will. Carpe diem, seize the day. Bon chance. Oh yeah, Salty Granny, without doubt, overkill. Oh, total overkill with the cops and soldiers. Philly Strong, I haven't heard anything about the young man's dad. I've heard about his mom, but I haven't heard about his dad. So I imagine his dad is either incarcerated like so many other black men, or has been taken too early by so many other black men. I don't know. I can't answer about the father, but yeah, I can understand what you're saying.
So they have National Guards on the sides out here. Try to get you another view of one of them.
A galaxy rapper. You can't be woke until you're first waking up. You can't do that until you know what true evil lurks these shadows. You're probably right. There are a whole lot of white people that have their heads in the sand, so to speak, and everything's awesome, and they can't understand why everybody doesn't feel the same way they do.
For me to zoom in very well. The screen is upside down for me.
Okay, Lloyd, my apologies. I did not know, and I said possibly. I didn't say definitely was. My apologies. I said I had not heard about the father. All I heard about was multiple times about the mom. So God bless the father for being there with the mom for his son. And no disrespect. Awesome. Awesome. My apologies. I did not know. I had not heard anything about the dad. No, I sincerely never meant any disrespect. I think it's absolutely awesome that the family was together, but I think it's horrific that we're talking about it during this tragedy.
Since the police have not moved up very much.
Yeah, and again, I apologize.
It's a wonder what exactly they have staged back here. We see officers or National Guardsmen on the left side of these houses. And so, do not know where the staging ground is for the police at this moment. But people are talking about staying. Staying awake for it.
Oh, Kevin, Kevin, it's okay, man. I disagree with a lot of people that are in the chat on individual issues and stuff, but it's all about respect, and it's all about, understanding that nobody has all the answers. I imagine a lot of us are agreeing this is incredible overkill for such a small crowd there's absolutely there's no threat. Okay, just as I say that, somebody's going to try to run over protesters. Oh, the cops are coming. Okay, as soon as the car pulled up, the cops took off. Let's sit back and watch. And again, my humble apologies to the father of Dante Wright, and the tenderest of mercies upon the parents and siblings and uncles and aunts and cousins and grandparents and baby Dante Wright. Okay, that's the gas station we were at last night. I'm going to have to run that back and see what happened. That car pulled out of the parking lot.
Now they're pulling people out of cars.
Yeah, you need to get out of there, dude. Egress. Egress. Do a quick 360 scan. See where you're at and where they're at. Good angle.
So we'll see how far. If the police start to land right here or what. Should be safe from here, but there's still more sheriff cars, so I'm not sure. A lot of arrests. Oops, I'm sorry. A very large police force just came to the other side, as we were sort of expecting. Everybody sort of expected it. People were talking about it. Didn't seem like they had a watcher on the side that was like relaying any information, saying it was about to happen, but people were pretty prepared. Apologies for not getting the best shots getting out of there. All those dispersal orders for press. I'm sure that I would have been arrested at this point, and I was trying to continue to document, although we did miss a lot of the documentation of some of those arrests happening. But they're walking this person out, so maybe that would have been okay.
They're just saying you're supposed to be following dispersal orders. I said, I'm doing my job as press. I'm covering the story. He said, well, that doesn't, if you're stuck in with protesters, you're going to be targeted. You could be arrested. I said, hey, I'm doing my job. Get out here on the front lines. Then he just said, well, you got to leave now. Next time you'll be arrested. So that's what I had to do. So we're good.
Again, a white guy gets set free.
You heard a media man just say he was able to get out. The police allowed him to get out. And they have a line here. It's very cold out here again. It's like you gotta wear gloves type weather.
Again, I'm not a cop. I've never been a cop. Oh, I did work security for the Super Bowl when it was in Indianapolis. But this just is such overkill.
It was a rush, sort of a forced kettle rush. Dang, I could have stayed in there too. Looks like they're walking a couple other people out. I apologize. Anyways, it is what it is. We got out of it. We could have been in it and then gotten out, but hey.
Yeah, we are watching Unicorn Riot, Granny. He got arrested and then released last night. Rico got arrested and released, and an Asian reporter about probably in my age range was also pulled behind lines, and then he too was released. But if you go back and watch the live, the black guy that had press on his vest, he was pulled behind the lines and taken to the ground, and did not see him come back out the other side. I'm not saying it may be just coincidental. They may not have.
So the troopers had held their line for
but
a long time. They waited for backup to arrive to both sides, flank the area, push in.
And I'm not saying the white reporter should have said, no, you must arrest me. He took advantage of white privilege. That's a definition of white privilege as clear cut as you're ever going to see right there.
But there's also those cars that were not able to escape. Yesterday
and so many people refuse to even recognize it exists.
A lot of the people got cited,
but we see it on a daily, and again, that's a prime example right there. And I'm not saying the kid should have said, oh, please make me stay back here and get arrested. I would have walked out too if I had the opportunity. Don't get me wrong. Just keeping it 100.
Very loud noise from this new Verizon building. I don't think anybody broke into it. Very loud.
Yeah, we arrest the press at times here in this country, especially for failure to give sources. Failure to turn somebody in.
Cars, or authorities were smashing some of the car windows to get people out. Get you another view.
Yeah, people like Unicorn, like me, that are not doing this for corporate overlords, but yet have legitimate media and journalistic backgrounds. It's different than somebody that's just holding a camera or just, decide I'm going to get my phone out and say I'm media. As far as I'm concerned, they should be considered that, because everybody should be considered that has a phone, citizen journalist. But I'm just saying that the government's restrictions on what is media and what is not media, do not be surprised if in the next 6 to 8 weeks you don't start hearing talk about quote unquote defining the media. Okay, Knuckles, you take care, man. Knuckles, prime example. Knuckles is a prime example of, he and I don't agree on everything, but we have respect, and we treat each other with respect, and come from opposite sides of the fence as far as politics and philosophy and a whole bunch of other things, but at least we treat each other like human beings, and I always thank everybody for that.
National Guard with shields.
40 arrests last night. Okay. National Guard with shields. Why? Where are all these threats? Unless there's something that was in that car or something was going to happen we aren't aware of. The car that suddenly pulled out of the parking lot. Well, they're establishing a perimeter for something. They're going to arrest the 25 press members that are still there. The actual government has always had a long-standing problem with the press. On a formal basis, the press is always kept in one location. The press is always given comments. The press is always kind of guided as far as give the information that certain people want to get out. And that makes Unicorn Riot, that makes Maxwell Mitchell, that makes News to Share, Ford Fisher, the dude that was covering Kenosha so good. Shoot, I can't remember his name at the moment. But anyway, people like that makes them dangerous because we do things differently than the corporate media does, and it puts out an alternative message, and that's not always what they want. Sorry, I'm rambling a little bit about the press because these people that are out here providing these live streams, I consider them war correspondents, and all you have to do is look at that screen and you can see why.
Again, Kim Potter is sorry. Kim Potter is a police officer who killed Dante Wright. She was a 26-year vet. She had been a
Who sent me, doofus?
Dante Wright had been alive.
Billy Bojangles. Who sent you, doofus? Who sent me where?
In this truck.
Peace to the Pharaoh's Guard, Breeway, and the Ville. Who sent me to YouTube? Man, that's a long story.
The third day of protest for Dante Wright. Again, Kim Powder, as I was saying, she's a 26-year vet of the Brooklyn Center Police Department, and she's also a training officer. She is the officer that Wait, hold on one second.
Okay, well, I got a second. Who sent me to YouTube? Her name was Kay. and she was my best friend, my lover, my partner, my roommate, my absolute best friend, and quickly became that way. But we were quarantined and locked down together for several weeks, and she said, "But you got all this stuff in your head, and you need to talk to somebody other than me about all this stuff." and and um, she always called me doofus, and she'd say, and I would say, "That's American doofus to you." And she started a Facebook, I'm sorry, she started a YouTube channel, and she set up some other social media and stuff, and kept telling me, okay, let's go back and record a show. And I was like, no, nobody's ever going to watch that. And finally, after about 2 weeks, I did the first show, and Kay said, "You need to talk about this Grandmaster J guy that you're writing about." And I did, and that show erupted. And that's who sent me to YouTube.
Here in the back distance area is a bunch of police and other authorities figures, and they have buses. Looks like they might continue to hold their line here, but this officer in the middle is walking and talking to every single person. So he's giving them some kind of order. I'm not positive what the order is at this point. The officers that is the person with the flashlight right there, that is a shooter. I call him a shooter because he has...
Hey, no problem, man. Salty Granny. Yeah, and originally the show was going to be, it was going to be me doing doofus things and showing clips of other people doing doofus things, and it was going to be a comedy show. But it was just the times were too serious, and that's not the turn it took, and it just kind of it took off. It took off, and about right as it was taking off, about 2 weeks after we started it, is when Kay suddenly died. And this became the center of all of my focus. So I'm not looking back to the screen here. I'm not sure what's going on. Why it's foggy. Why it's so blurry. What's up, dude?
Neighborhood Reporter has two folks. The gentleman from Neighborhood Reporter was, I think, detained for a while, or had been split up from the other partner of Neighborhood Reporter.
I don't know if it's because of lack of forelighting or what's going on.
The non-police rush that happened.
Yeah, thanks, Granny.
Where we sort of were before the police ran at everybody. The crowd had...
She'd be proud of what's going on, what I'm doing.
The police hadn't made their move, or the troopers hadn't made their move. And so what you saw just about 10, 15 minutes ago was the police making their move along with the coordination.
Now, she wasn't always the most liberal person either. And we didn't always agree on our positions on a lot of things. But when it came to human rights, when it came to equality, when it came to social justice, then this kind of took off. the show kind of took off as to what it's become. And we don't have 200,000 followers or anything like that, like some do. I don't know. Maybe if I'd have started it during the actual quarantine and lockdown, like she wanted me to, I might have had, but it didn't work that way. And I'm okay because I get information from YouTube like you shouldn't do a show over 7 minutes long because the average person doesn't have long enough attention span to watch something over 7 to 10 minutes long. And I'm like, that's cool. Thanks for the information, but my viewers aren't average. My viewers have some intelligence. And what is this? Okay. I'm not sure why the National Guard is there. I'm guessing, for those that don't know, in the trial of the murderer of George Floyd, the prosecution rested today, and the defense started its case. That case included a expert in restraining people, in saying that the officer was indeed justified in having his knee on his neck, as he did, because of the size of George Floyd. That's just evidence. I'm not. Yeah, I can't even let the images of those 10 minutes of that video. I can't even let it into my head, because it's just such a, I don't know, it's such a such a ghastly event. Salty Granny, I never thought I was a liberal either. I kind of thought I was always in the middle of the road, but the road took a very sharp turn right, and all of a sudden I found out that I'm actually a liberal. I'm just not far left. Thanks, Nat. Yeah. For about the first 3 or 4 weeks, I talked to her every single day. And she died right here, totally unexpectedly, the Monday morning of a massive heart attack. She had an enlarged heart. Nobody knew about it. And just like Sunday night, she was here, and Monday morning, she was gone. So don't ever take for granted what you have. Don't ever take for granted your loved ones, your anything, because it can all be taken away. And be humble for what we're blessed to have and the time we have, and try to love one another, or just project love, Be a light, as I always say. It's a dark world, be a light. Thank you, Jay Atlas. Salty Granny, I heard other people say that. I don't know. The evidence I saw from the prosecution, I do not see any way in the world the jury could find him anything but totally guilty. I'm glad to hear that, Sam Scott. And you know,
This is only one corner. There's also
I don't
3 or
know.
4 other corners.
Some of those guys were misguided. I don't think some of those people were racist necessarily. I think some of them have the same frustrations a lot of us have. They just chose to believe Trump for a while. So I hope that all that QAnon, all that bold crap goes away, because we got more than enough real shit to deal with. To have to deal with just a mess of lies. Anyway, Salty Granny, I'm sorry. My sympathies and of course my understanding. I can't imagine losing a grandbaby. I can't imagine losing a daughter.
Training officer of 26 years on the force did not act in a mistake fashion.
This just doesn't look like a street in some city in America. This isn't what it's supposed to be. Stormtroopers and 12 different divisions of police and sheriffs and state police and National Guard and
in 2019, I believe.
Yeah, T-Rex, I'm still live. Heading on 2 hours of live.
Heard from also other family members of his numerous times here in the last couple of years. If you type in Kobe Heisler, Heisler.
But there must be a major threat somewhere that Nico's not showing us, because these guys are baton ready. They got the vehicles up at the front. They're in a pre-attack posture.
Killed by police.
Thank you, James Sweeney.
Mental health call. And they were actually
blessings to you.
They chose to come anyway. And they killed him. Dante Wright was pulled over on a traffic violation. Kim Potter, 26 years old, trainer, thought she thought she was pulling the taser out and shot him and killed him. 20 years old. People have come out to protest. They've been met with a lot of violence by the police. There's been some projectiles that have been thrown at the police in the past.
Yeah, don't walk up to him. Not a good idea.
In the last few days, in response. Got distracted by the gentleman who walked up and just got shown the light right away and just walked off.
Yeah, smart move. Yeah, it is snowing. It's starting to snow pretty hard there, it looks like.
I'm not sure direction which way we are at this point. But the police station is in front of us to the left.
Okay, somebody just messaged me.
3-4 blocks. Sort of a strip mall on the left side. Police station on the right. 66 or 67th and Humboldt. Right now we're on 69th. So we got 3 blocks. So you can go to our website for more on also the training that these folks receive. The folks on the front are police officers. What we saw on the first line was conservation officers, DNR, Department of Natural Resources, as well as state troopers. The other funny thing about the DNR,
they're the most powerful law enforcement in the state of Indiana.
Our website as well. Check a story out that Sam Richards, contributor, did on munitions that were bought and brought, I think, by a DNR plane, if I can remember right. During one of the hikes, second or third day of, maybe it's third or fourth day, George Floyd uprising. Here in Minneapolis, the police ran out of munitions and they needed to order more. And the DNR allowed them to use their plane to drive to fly to Wyoming, Casper, Wyoming, or something like that, to where they could get more munitions. And they came back with so much. Sam Richards was able to discover that in FOIA requests, Freedom of Information Act, records requests that we are allowed to file. Right now, we know that this is, I think, the West Central Command structure, I think is what it's called. Part of Operation Safety Net, which the police created in the aftermath of George Floyd. And they created it because they really lost all control of the metro area, from my understanding. That's why one of the reasons why they created it. And that and to protect their corporate interests and their private interests and property, because you can see by the way that they police these protests and whatnot, they do not talk to the community. They shoot at the community, and then they protect their property. So in this case, they shoot at the community, and the community is seeking justice for Dante Wright, or grieving for Dante Wright, and also traumatized by another police murder that now everybody saw on video, because they did release a video. But the point is, sorry, I just got totally distracted by the police light flashing and some of the people that were in the periphery. So, back to the point.
There we go. Thank
I can't
you.
remember what it exactly was, but we'll go back to talking about the field force training manuals. The field force training manuals are available on our website, unicornriot.ninja, and they have a lot of information as to how these folks get trained. We were talking about the Line 3 training a minute ago, or Line 3. DNR and the state troopers combined for Operation Northern Lights Task Force. It was the Northern Lights Task Force. They all trained together along with northern Minnesota counties, sheriff's departments and whatnot. They trained together to combat the resistance to Line 3 pipeline, which is a tar sands oil pipeline that's getting put through northern Minnesota sort of as we speak. Construction sort of on hold for, I think, another 2 months because of the seasons change and it's not right for them to work underground or whatnot. There's a delayed period. So the reason why I bring that up is because, again, we were able to find out information from FOIA requests of Operation Northern Lights, or of the Northern Lights Task Force. We've had a lot of extensive coverage on Line 3 resistance as well. Go to our website, you can check that out. You can check it out on the front page. If you go down a little bit and go to Line 3 resistance, that's sort of the landing page for a lot of the articles. Again, it's related in the sense that the police interaction with the community, as we were talking about with Dante Wright, after he got murdered, the police's interaction with the community was to meet with them with violence and to not talk to them. So as we were talking about as well with the George Floyd uprising. After the George Floyd uprising started, within the first week, the police started to create this new plan, or within, very recent time after the George Floyd uprising started, the police created Operation Safety Net. I think it's in its third or fourth phase. Yeah, third phase, excuse me. I think there's 4 phases. The 4th phase is them leaving. So the 3rd phase is exercising maximum. I could be wrong. I'm talking about this on the fly without doing the quick research real quick. But this is from off my head, and I think this is right. I think there was 4 phases of Operation Safety Net. The 4th phase is them leaving. The 3rd phase is probably what they just activated very recently. I think yesterday or the day before. And that they were supposedly going to activate 3rd phase, which is a huge police force. It's showing a huge police force when the verdict of the when the verdict of the Derek Chauvin trial is going to be announced. And so basically we're now in the 3rd phase where it's a very large police presence. Right now they're focused out here in Brooklyn Center. They're all across sort of the West Metro and Minneapolis. St. Paul was hit with a curfew. I think they have other police forces as well out in St. Paul. From my understanding, there was going to be 1,000 to 3,000 National Guard that were sent into the cities to be stationed in front of government installations and other corporate institutions. We saw them on our way in various spots. They were on Lake Street, 31st, by TCF Bank, protecting that. I'm not really sure if they were protecting it or what, but it seems like they're just like put in locations where they can protect businesses at this point. Yesterday or day before, they were uptown, protecting a lot of businesses uptown, or I shouldn't say protecting, but sitting in front of the businesses. And so it looks like they're stationed, the National Guard has been stationed to protect the private interests of the corporations. And so
Are we surprised?
that's basically what it is. Some folks, locals getting pictures. Sorry, bro. Forgot my light was on. Some locals getting pictures. Why they kill him? You want to talk to him live right now?
Hey man, we out here, man. We just wonder. Yeah. And we just wonder why they do it. We're just curious on why they do it. It don't make no damn sense. What is it? If I'm filming, we just curious why they do it. Why y'all do it?
That's it, 412, man. They go this is up.
Man, fuck 12, come my cousin, man. Fuck that fat ass nigga. Fuck that little short ass nigga. Fuck all these niggas. Fuck National Guard. I'm phone out.
It's not even just why do they do it. It's why do they keep getting away with this shit. This shit keep up. Why they keep doing this shit and they keep on thinking that it's all cool and it's not cool at all. Like what they're doing, they need to be held accountable. Shut the fuck up. Each and every person this is real shit though. Each and every person needs to be held accountable. All of you guys, y'all know this shit is wrong. If y'all stand for this, fuck y'all. Some of y'all, not all of y'all is like that, but for the ones that is, fuck y'all.
Okay, this stuff you don't see on mainstream media, I guarantee you. The question becomes, is that the revolution?
As the police move forward, very menacing looking officers standing there with their guns.
You know, I'd like to say when everything calms down, I'm gonna have a couple of shows about okay, what is a revolution? What everybody talks about, you know, you can't stop the revolution. What exactly is that revolution? Who is that revolution?
I mean, if clearing this area, they took a lot of cars because a lot of the people were trying to leave in their cars. The police actually smashed out windows of cars. I did not see that. I heard it. I do not know verification if that happened, but it sounds like something that would happen based on past experience of police interactions during these times of protest.
Giving power back to the people is the revolution. Well, I would say that would be the result of the revolution, would be giving power back to the people. Is this going to be a political revolution, which is, you know, what I'm for, but I'm in the vast minority? If this is going to be a violent revolution, who's going to be on the front lines? Are the kids we just saw? Is that the front line of the revolution? And do you really think those kids would have a chance against what you're seeing
that. Continue to follow
on the
our work
screen.
at unicornriot.ninja.
I mean, these are things we just things we got to
Facebook,
think
YouTube,
about.
and Vimeo, as well as Instagram, unicorn.riot. We will be
Words are
continuing to try to bring you
one thing, but
the happenings here in Minneapolis area, as well as others across the globe. Check out our website for a new report from Brazil. And we'll have some other new reports about Dante Wright and the situation, the ongoing situation here in Brooklyn Center area upcoming. So continue to follow our work.
That's kind of deep there.
Now, this is Nico from
Nagma.
Riot. Again, thank you, Chris. Thank you, all of you all, for continuing to share our work.
All right. Unicorn's going down. I think we will follow suit.
Educational nonprofit.
Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Unicorn Riot, as always. Thank all of you out there watching, as always. Sadly, yeah, because others before us would not. I got to say that I've been trying to do a political revolution for not long enough, but about 20 years, and trying to somehow be a part of major change. And I hope there's not mass violence, because the wrong people will get blamed for it, and the wrong people will suffer the most from it, in my opinion. Salty Granny, thank you so much. You have a great night as well. James Sweeney, I'm not going to respond to the George Floyd verdict. It's a setup. I'm afraid that others aren't going to take that attitude. Virginia Price, from your comment to God's ears. Yeah, people should know their right to take a stand, and they also should have the right to take a stand, and that's being taken away here with what to me seems like a totally non-existent threat. But I'm going to get off of here and say thank you all, as always. If you haven't hit that like button, go ahead and do that if you would. It just, the way I do things, it's not, it's not like it's a matter of a few dollars. It's a matter of a few extra cents. And hit the subscribe if you've never subscribed, and hit the what's it called when it let you know I'm popping on, the little bell thing, notification. Jeez, it's been a long night. I love you all. Anybody wants to email me, you can do so at American Doofus, all one word, AMERICANDUFUS at gmail.com. And if you'd like to help the show, $ American Doofus, all one word, is the Cash App. Again, thank you so much for viewing. Thanks for hanging out with me through the night. We'll be back. As always, if something breaks, we'll pop on. And otherwise, I'll be on sometime tomorrow night, I imagine, sometime around 9 o'clock. God bless each and every one of you. May God have mercy on the United States of America. If you're a Christian, the blessings of Jesus upon you. If you're Hebrew, shalom. If you're Muslim, assalamu alaikum. And if you're just, if you're just a good old boy from Indiana, then yo, Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I love y'all. It's the dark world. Be a light. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. Stay alive. I love y'all.